Okay, guys, let's talk about the core responsibilities of a shift lead. It's obviously why you're here, but you're transitioning into a leadership role, right? So it comes with a new mindset, but we want to give you clarity for the role as well. So that's what this module is all about. All right, so leading by example, super important. Being a utility player, that's what it's called in baseball. Player who can kind of do a few things, right, at the same time or flip flop between a couple things. So in the restaurant business, we're talking about bussing tables, running expo, make sure food gets out, maybe serving as a bartender for a little bit. But you need to lead by examples, be able to step into any role when needed. Again, we know some of you are front of house sort of shift leads, some are back of house, but it's the same idea of being able to step in when needed. So you're also going to set the pace and tone of your shift. So ensure that side work and cleaning duties are done, and they're kind of done throughout the shift is important as well. And then you're going to model the standards that you expect from your team. So it's not enough just to point at people and tell them what to do. But if they see you bussing a table, cleaning a table, wiping down the ketchup and other items that are on there, putting them back, I call it resetting. So reset the table how it looks when you walk into grandma's house. Reset the table nicely, pushing the chairs nicely. When you do that repetitively and they walk past you and maybe they help or maybe they don't, but the point is you've now demonstrated that's how you lead. That's the standard. And so next time you kind of walk by, all you say is hey, can I help you reset that table? You walk through the standard with them, and then now the next time is I noticed you didn't hold the standard. Can I show you anything? Can I help you next time? Right. So it's being the leader that we need to make sure that the guest experience, that amigo experience, like going to your favorite game, is met. Okay, so here's some of the core behaviors that we're talking about. So let's get into some nitty gritty to your training. Okay, so it starts with figure eights and table touches. These are two super important things that I'm always talking about, but I don't know that they get relayed to our staff very well. So let me explain more of what they are. So figure eights are how we move through the floor. Okay, so you need to do regularly loop through to check tables, greet guests, check on guests, help the team. So you're not just kind of identifying parts that need to be done, you're actually helping the team as well. So importantly, number one thing, interestingly, not only does it help service, right, keeps things moving and we're doing the things we need to do. It's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that our guests actually see you doing that, right? So it keeps you visible and it lets guests feel that there's support in the business. Interestingly enough, right, they're not coming just for food and drinks. They're coming for an experience. And when they see a team working well together, that's what a good shift lead does. A good shift lead is never parked in one spot, which also then means, if you're leading by example, that a good server is probably never in one spot. The bartender, maybe a little bit, but if they have time, they can be doing other things. If they're not moving physically, at least they're moving in their speech and talking to other guests and keeping a good flow. So we're always moving. Okay, so in the restaurant industry, we have a figure eight. So it's this practice where a supervisor, where a shift lead, even the person holding down the station, walks through a designated route, often starting and ending in a specific area. So here is an example of our dining room. Okay, so you as a shift lead, this might not be your station, but I've started it in the bathroom for a reason. So when you start your shift, do you go start your first figure eight after you clock in should be in the bathroom, so that you know what the bathroom looks like and what attention it needs. Either you're doing it yourself, or you're going to clean it yourself, or you're going to grab your staff and do your pre-shift huddle and let them know what you've seen on your first walkthrough, and then ask for their support to get it done, because they know that you're going to support them throughout the shift in the way that we're describing. Okay, so the figure eight here is shown going through the dining room, looking through going through different table sections. You're making eye contact with your guests, and when needed, you're going to intervene. And so if a guest is enjoying their meal, what the expectation is that, the server typically in their service standards should come and check on the table up 2 minutes after getting their food. But that doesn't mean that you can't too. Okay, so you're that extra layer of support. So what I want you to do is go and do a table touch during your figure eight. I'm going to talk about table touches next, but you go by and you say, Hi, my name is Chris. I am the shift lead tonight. Just want to make sure your meal is going well. Is there anything that we have overlooked or that we can bring to you right now? Anything, right? You guys know what you're doing, but this is the expectation that we're making sure that we share with you. And so the last thing on the figure eight that's probably the most important, I already talked to you about the bathrooms, right? But a figure eight can start outside of the dumpster too. So when you start or finish your shift, you should start outside the building, check the dumpster, make sure that we're good citizens, we're good stewards of the air, of the business in downtown and of the community. Pick up things that need to be picked up, check the outside trash, go through the garage, go through the back bathroom, that's the top of the eight, go through the bar area, go through the dining room area, that's the bottom eight. Okay, so we need to establish good figure eights throughout service. Importantly, I know that when it gets busy, you're not going to be doing a lot of figure eights. You're going to be helping service, running expo or delivering food, clearing tables, etc. Perfect, we want that. But then you bounce back through a figure eight when it's appropriate. Okay, so now let's talk about table touches. So when a manager goes by tables and checks in and demonstrates that they are a manager or they are a shift lead, so they're that extra layer of support, the customer feels like there's an awesome team getting that 5-star service, right? Giving the 5-star service. So the purpose is to connect with the customer and understand what's going on with what their experience is at that time and then solving anything. So sometimes, let's look at the picture. 46% of times, they just want to be engaged. They just want to know that there's someone there and that you're engaging them, okay? And that there's a layer of support. So 37% of guests want you to know who they are. Sometimes they want to know who you are. And so being able to have a quick dialogue and assess quickly, do they need something? Do they need to be served? Do they need to just feel engaged? Or do they want to have a dialogue to know who we are and who they are as well passing through? 43% of the time they want to be delighted, so something super special. And sometimes it's just as easy as doing a pre-bus and clearing something off the table, or noticing that there's an empty drink of water and coming through and filling their water as you're doing a table touch. Okay, 45% of the times they might want to hear me and they might just want to be heard. You don't have to fix everything, you just need to listen first. Okay, so sometimes they might say, this was a really fun place, and we walked in, people said hello to us, they got us to a table, and we've had great service and food and drinks so far, but I really think that your fries could have been warmer. And all you need to do is listen. All you need to do is hear them. 50%, 45% of the time, not solving anything. 52% of the time is to empower them to make a decision. So sometimes they do need help making a decision. And if it's at the time of service where they still haven't made their food order or drink order, you're there to give them extra layer of knowledge and support to make a decision. You say, make it personal. So my favorite burger is the Heritage Burger, and why? I like to put bacon on it. And so when you do that, you're upselling them. And so we have, as a business, are going to win because they had a great table touch. They're getting a little, and then they're also getting an upsell. So we win on that as well. All right, so part of your role is to also be a mentor to our staff and to have a layer of accountability, okay? So we are expecting small conflicts, or we're expecting not everything to go awesome on a shift, and so we want you to stay calm and we want you to be that mentor on the spot. So on the spot, you're making corrections with kindness and clarity. So I kind of mentioned this before, but if you notice that someone cleans a table and they do a great job cleaning it, tell them you did a great job cleaning it, but let me just as a reminder, we need to reset the table, push in the chairs, and put all of the condiments in a specific section or part of the table. Okay, so we're respectful, but we're firm, and we're protecting the standards and the culture that we have at Amiga. Okay, and so that's what your role here is. You don't have to escalate things. You don't have to point the finger. I think it's pretty clear to you now in listening to this module that we want you to do the job, show the job, and then hold them accountable, okay? All right, so next thing is opening and closing duties. This is a category of your activity. It has everything to do with delegation, checklists, and signing off of things. Okay, so we're gonna provide you with checklists to verify that there's completion of side work and various tasks going through each shift, okay? And so when these aren't done properly, importantly, we need to hold that level of accountability, and sometimes that needs to come up to management and to ownership that If people aren't doing it, then you need to use 7 shifts and just communicate that to your manager. We'll talk more about the communication piece later. But check every side work, verify it. Don't just say, did you do it? You need to go verify it, right? So just do a quick figure eight before you sign off on it. When you sign off, it needs to be actually done. It's not just will do it, it has been done. And so you're not signing off until it actually is done. But this close sets the tone for tomorrow's open. We all know that, right? So the AM shift close sets the tone for the PM shift. The PM shift close sets the tone for the AM shift the next day. And so it's all one big wheel. We have obviously open 7 days a week on most months of the year, and so we're the only restaurant doing this in Alpine right now. It's a challenging task, but I know you guys chosen as shift leads can lead by example and get these tasks done and make sure that our restaurant holds the standards and has great customer service. So another thing you're going to do is handling call outs and coverage. All right, so when you handle call outs and coverage, we need to remind the team to use 7 shifts. 7 shifts is our official form of communication. All right, so when people are late to shifts, they should use 7 shifts. Hey, running late. If they know they're not going to be able to make Friday's shift and today's Wednesday, that's awesome. They should throw that shift up, offer that shift up for a trade. But remember, it's their shift responsibility until the trade is approved by a manager. In this case, Trent is the only person right now. Okay, so you as a shift lead need to participate in these reminders, in these coaching sessions, these training sessions. Get the phone out. Everyone's got a phone right next to them. Grab the phone and say, hey, can I show you how to throw up a shift, right? The cool part about being a shift lead is that all of our staff feel comfortable typically then talking to you. You're like a peer to them. You were a peer yesterday, now you're a supervisor. So great for you, great for them, because we have that level of respect and we can communicate things clearly and make sure that we keep our service smooth, okay? So don't forget that we need to be able to make decisions quickly and adjust our coverage on the spot. We're gonna help you learn what that means as we go along in our training. All right, so handling guest complaints, it's going to happen. We know that, of course, right? So no service is going to be without a guest complaint from here and there. And so handling complaints, first of all, starts with listening. So we have to listen first. Most guests just want to feel heard. Remember, 50% almost just want to be heard. And so you can use those words. I hear what you're saying. I appreciate you giving me that feedback. I hope we can do better next time. I hope we can, I know that we will make sure that feedback is given to our manager and fixed for your next visit. All right, so we can fix issues quickly, confidently, and kindly. First we listen, then we let them talk, then we fix it. We can offer solutions, not just excuses. So remember, most people just want to feel heard. You're the face of the brand in that moment. So the way in which you can stay calm and ensure that they're heard and that there's a solution given, which we're going to tell you more about as we go along in terms of where the guardrails are and things you can and cannot do or should or shouldn't do. Mistakes are going to happen. We know that. We trust you. We want you to be a shift lead. We want you to grow in your leadership, and we're here to support that. So other areas that you will participate in are just general administrative duties. So our manager is going to, depending on the shift that you fill, right? So first of all, depending on whether you're front of house or back of house shift lead, also depending on whether it's an AM or PM shift, if it's midweek or weekend, you're going to participate in some administrative duties just to help us out and be a part and understand more of the operation and help us out. If we're a 7-day operation, which we are, our manager can't be there all the time, okay? And so that's part of the reason why we have shift leads is that we have extra eyes and ears for management, okay? So you might be tracking inventory, you might be troubleshooting POS, not just in the moment, but we might have you, okay, tomorrow you're gonna do this test on the POS. You might check your cash drawers, but you are the eyes and ears of our management. That's one of the most important parts of the role, okay? So the role isn't just about being in charge, it's about being responsible for things that we need to be taken charge of. Okay, so for people, for the place, and for the experience, you're not just running a shift, you're running Amigo in that moment. And we trust you to do that. This role is all about responsibility. It's not just authority. We need to lead people, manage the place, elevate the experience. We always want to make sure we have that amigos experience, like going to the Dallas Cowboys football game, that people leave with that 5-star review in mind, and that we can facilitate that as well. All right, so we're excited that you're here, and we're going to keep our training rolling. Let's keep going.